Hi, barklord. I just wanted to discuss a little bit this situation. I mean, first of all, um, yeah, the antinatalists are obviously the psychological aspect really dependent on or even addicted to this idea that they're the only ones that even see suffering. If you saw suffering, you would agree everything needs to be put out of its misery, um, including things not suffering. Uh, I think they imagine the wealthy, powerful, not really just the wealthy so much, but the powerful, wealthy, they imagine that they just have really happy lives, that abusing the world is a really good, enjoyable life. In fact, I picture them as having paranoid, stressed lives lacking true love. But then again, that it's individual case by case. But these caricatures affect how you react to the injustice of it all. Now, I don't. I have suffered a lot of pain and sadness and anger, and it mostly came out as anger when I was coming into my 20s. You know, I just thought we needed some sort of a total, you know, revolution. Things need to change right now, right now. But the cure to that for me was philosophers like Camus. You know, he describes in the myth of Sisyphus how life is a struggle and how the struggle is a cycle, and how you, if you learn the cycle, you can go with it. You can see a cycle as futility, or you can also see it as a chance to cycle yourself. So you can push the stone up the hill and it's going to roll down again, but I for one like watching boulders roll down hills. That would be why I pushed it up, and if I got bored of that, wouldn't you stop pushing it up? So it's this idea that you're pushing boulders up to have them stay. It's like cleaning your house. I noticed when I was a kid this kind of a syndrome, in that I really just would like to clean my house one time and it stays clean. And a lot of things in life aren't like that. They require resolve to resolve them over and over. And the real solution is to get a resolution that is efficient. But their idea is impractical. Not everybody is going to be sterilized or voluntarily stopped. And you can't do it in stages, because then that's just eugenics, which is, of course, the dark side of antinatalism, is how close it is to things like eugenics. But since it's not biased, saying, well, we just need to stop some, then, you know, it escapes being just like it. But you can't go in stages. So they know it's not going to happen. So it's really just a way, I mean, in effect, they're asking you to just admit that life sucks and it can't be fixed. And then you're going to go on living. We're all going to go on living, and that attitude is supposed to somehow be morally correct. I mean, it's in an area of philosophy where even if there were objective truths and that was one of them, obviously you would have to live in denial of it. Denial. Life is worthless because you have to work to make it better, and it can be made better. And what they're thinking is just such a rejection of relativism and iterative improvement in engineering methodologies. You know, it's in the face. It's like their theory is similar to bumblebees can't fly because the aerodynamics aren't right. It's like you can't make things better, but you can't. The guilt of the thing is that with the Camus example and Nietzsche and some other philosophers on that side, sort of the poetic, even Kierkegaard, and this strain of philosophers and some of the pessimistic philosophers add into these things of because they're not suicidal, pessimistic but non-suicidal. Is that, yeah, you got to push the rock up the hill, and in a sense it's like, why do I have to push it up the hill again? And you remember, well, because I want to see things change. So you have to put your shoulder against the problems in the world. And you can bitch and say, well, we should just all die off. which is a cop-out. These people are still alive right now. They still are needing help. And I think wherever you are, the very least you can do is get involved with politics, because it's your local American or even Canadian or British politicians that are supporting the world corporate government, basically, which is still perpetrating the biggest of these crimes. You know, the biggest crimes are done legally still. And so you can make a difference. So do that. Are you involved, you antinatalists? I've asked before, and it's really that's what you should be. You know, it reminds me of some of my really virulent activist friends that really rag on people that don't get involved, and I've always kind of been like, well, because I sort of learned that, hey, if you don't know what the hell you're talking about, you don't have to be involved. You know, but if you want the world to be a better place, then you do have to be involved. So, you know, it's much more justified activists that are like guilting everybody else for not being involved than these antinatalists trying to guilt people for wanting to make life better. Yeah. And then we're here so politely explaining. It's funny.